In this video, I'm going to talk about how we were able to take our client Delivered Social from not doing any outreach, not getting any meetings from that sales channel to getting over 30 booked calls a month, with cold email being the main driver of that. And Delivered Social is a UK-based marketing agency managing socials for a wide range of businesses. And when they came to us, they had no outreach motion at all. And so they wanted to establish outreach as a sales channel. And I think this is something a lot of B2B companies overlook. They underestimate how powerful cold outreach is as a consistent sales channel. So basically, that's what our job was to establish this as a solid sales channel for them. And for context, here at Scale Sprints, I've been doing lead gen for 4 years for B2B companies, and I'm one of the recommended experts with Instantly.ai, which is the largest dedicated cold email tool in the world. So I've generated thousands and thousands and thousands of leads for B2B companies and sent over 10 million cold emails. So that's my background, and I'm going to tell you exactly how we were able to generate this result here, including one of the most important things, which is how to actually structure the offer to make it well suited for cold traffic. So stick around until later in the video, because that's going to be arguably the most important part of this whole thing here. So the first thing I want to talk about is essentially the challenge here. So the challenge is, let me just make this a bit bigger. So one of the main challenges is that you're selling a service with cold email that a lot of other people are selling. And when it's a saturated market, it's very easy to it becomes a commodity, and a lot of people view it like that. So you need to be able to stand out. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to sell you, I'm going to run your ads. That's what I'm going to do. Like, nobody is actually going to find that compelling, because there are so many other people in their inbox saying exactly that. So a lot of people fail with outreach because they just don't know how to make their offer well suited for cold traffic. And cold traffic is very different. A lot of people think it's the same as closing people from referrals and inbounds. So a lot of people that have been relying on that for years, they get a real shock when they get into the realm of cold traffic. But there are certainly ways to get past this and close a ton of deals from cold traffic, which is a lot more scalable than inbound and referrals. So that's what I'm going to talk about here. So the first thing here is building the infrastructure behind all of this. So the way we do that is we set up Instantly.ai, as I mentioned, which is a tool that's great because it has like the modern features we need for inbox warming, inbox rotation, and everything like that. So you don't want to be sending emails from your main company domain, and you don't want to be using outdated tools like Apollo or MailChimp or Go High Level or something like that. You want to ideally set up something like Instantly, Smartly, Email Bison, or something similar to that. So we set up Instantly here, and we build a solid backend with multiple email accounts and domains. Now, the thing about this is that you need to actually be careful where you source your email licenses from. So some people get these directly from Google, Microsoft, which is like way too expensive to scale. Other people go for the very cheap end of things, where it's like private infrastructure, and I wouldn't go down that route because it's gonna, most of the time it doesn't work at all. So we've vetted all the different options out there, and we found a Google reseller that we work with. So it's a lot cheaper than doing it directly with Google and Microsoft, so we can scale volume a lot more, but the deliverability is comparable to just buying it directly from Google and Microsoft. So that's what we use on the back end. And then we have a system for basically monitoring email deliverability for each domain, so we can see if a particular domain is having a drop in reply rate, and we can immediately switch that out with a different domain. So we built a very, very solid backend here, which is really important to do. Because already here you're going to have an edge over the other people that are in the inboxes of these companies, because most of those competitors you have, they'll land in spam, they won't know what they're doing. And so if you can actually build a proper system, you're going to already have an edge just based off that. So that's basically what we did. And then also another thing is redirecting all the sending domains to a landing page with a VSL. And the reason why we do this is because VSL funnels are the best way to get cold traffic to convert. And a lot of people are going to read the email and look up the domain that you're sending from. And if you redirect that to a landing page with a VSL, that is going to convert people that might not even respond to the email. So they get the email, they check out the website, and then they just convert that way. So this is always something that I recommend that people do. So that's a little bit about the backgrounds here and the infrastructure that was powering this whole system. Now, the next thing here is the list building and targeting. So what I always recommend that people do here is ask themselves, like, is there any low-hanging fruit here? Are there any particular audience where we know that, okay, so these guys are definitely going to convert at a higher rate, so we can get some quick wins? So what we did is essentially some local campaigns. So this company, they have some different physical like locations, and so we started reaching out to people in those physical locations and like mentioning like, hey, I'm also based in blah blah blah, and then you go into the pitch. The reason why this works so well is because you're saying something in the email that other people cannot say, and there's already more trust. So if they receive 100 emails from different marketing companies, but yours is actually a local one, then it's a lot more interesting because, oh, I can actually trust these guys. I can meet up with them if I want to. They have the same culture and everything like that. So it's a lot more compelling from that perspective. So those campaigns performed extremely well here. Now, we also ran a broader UK campaign in parallel just to like fill out the volume so we could actually like send thousands of emails per day. In terms of databases, what we used was some Google Map scraping, Apollo, and then using Clay to also build out these lists, enrich them, and so on and so forth. And then we used an AI agent to pre-qualify the leads and companies before we started sending. So when we had this like huge lead list, we just wanted to have an AI agent that was able to go in and research each prospect to make sure that they kind of fit what we're looking for. So that's also something we did. And then the result of all of this was a targeted list with the right decision makers and segmentation. So we had like these very specific local campaigns and then also the broader campaign as well. So that is regarding the list building and targeting. So now infrastructure set up, all ready to go, fully optimized. We have the lists of people we want to reach out to. So the next important step here, which is the most important step in my opinion, is the offer and the scripting here. So the biggest mistake that agencies make, as I mentioned, is just pitching their service. They just reach out to people and say, "Hey, this is what I do. Are you interested?" But that's not how you convert cold traffic, right? So we tested multiple different angles and ways to basically get the foot in the door. And so the first thing that we tried was personalized video audits of their socials, which worked extremely well. So basically reaching out to them and saying, "Hey, you know, I'm not going to pitch you a call. I'm just going to say, I can do this like audit for you. I can check out your socials. I can give some feedback on that and send over a video for you." Now, you might think, oh, well, I don't want to do all that work. But the thing is, if you want to close cold traffic, you need to just realize that you're going to have some form of customer acquisition cost, whether that's you spending extra time or spending extra money, because converting cold traffic costs money. There's no way around it. It costs money or time. So you're going to be investing into your CAC here once you film these videos, and it's going to work well. Now, what you want to do, and the reason why we do this, is because first we want to show that we're competent, we know what we're doing. The second thing is we want to get that initial like verbal confirmation that they're potentially in the market for this, because nobody that has completely optimized everything would say yes to this. So we know there are probably some bottlenecks because they're interested, and this is like the green card for us to just like, or the green light for us to just go ahead and just completely spam them with marketing, right? So we want to send follow-ups, nurturing, calling them, LinkedIn, and everything. We just really, really want to go hard once we have somebody that has expressed interest, because we know they have the pain points. And now it's just a matter of convincing them to actually convert and hop on a call. So you really want to go hard on the follow-ups and the nurturing once they've responded to that video. But anyways, that's the first thing we did. Now, the real winning angle was actually a marketing audit. But it's really important that you don't just pitch this as a regular audit, because a lot of people will see an audit and they just think it's a sales pitch in disguise. So what we did instead was two different things. So one of them is we put a label on it. So we gave it a name. So it just didn't seem like just a generic audit. Like this was something that we do consistently, and it's like an offer that has a name essentially. The second thing we did was we had sort of a humorous angle that we used, but we were like, hey, we have a strict no pitch clause. So we cannot possibly pitch you on this call. That's not allowed for us to do. So we basically said that in the email, and it kind of was a pattern interrupt. And it also lowered the guard of the prospect, because now they're like, oh, well, these guys are not going to tell me that there's not going to be a pitch, and then they're going to hop on the call and pitch me, right? So it kind of puts that commitment from you not to pitch on the call, which makes it a lot more attractive for the prospect to hop on that call, because now they're going to get some honest feedback on their socials, and they know it's not just going to be a pitch. Now, the reason why this still works great is because you're going to point out a bunch of issues, and now they're going to want to solve those issues, and they already trust you, they've already talked with you, so you're the natural sort of path to take to solve that issue. And so that's why this works so well. So that's basically what we did for the offers and the scripts here, and this worked extremely well. So we just doubled down on that and scaled up the volume. Now, the fourth thing here is the appointment setting system. So obviously you're going to get a bunch of positive responses here, and you need to be able to actually capture these responses and get back to them fast. So we set up a system so we could get notified automatically. The AI would scan that, hey, this is a positive response. We get a notification. And then from there, again, we can email them, LinkedIn them, call them, and then perform whatever sort of like deliverable we have, whether that's like filming that personal video or doing that audit call, etc. And then from there, you just convert the lead to a paying customer. So that's basically what the journey looks like here for the prospects. So as you can see from the system here, what we've done is we've optimized the backend to get into the primary inbox. We've made sure the list is super accurate. We've made sure it's a very streamlined and easy to say yes to journey for the prospect. So this is how you want to structure a cold traffic funnel, is by keeping all of these different aspects in mind. So the results here was that they went from having 0 outbound system in place to getting over 30 booked calls per month, and cold email being one of their primary customer acquisition channels. So that is basically going to do it for this video here. If you want us to set up this entire system for you, then you can check out the link in the description to book a meeting with me, and I can see if we can actually help you. So thanks for watching the video, and have a good day.